They want me to change, they want me to change, but I ain't changing. Nah, I remain.
And you're now tuned into another episode of Intellectually Petty Radio in concert with a beautiful machine magazine, as well as the mighty Nerd DJ Radio Network. You already know, week after week, year after year, month after month, we only rock with legends around here, and today is absolutely no exception. One of New York's finest MCs in the history of vocal cords and break beats. I want to bring to the stage Antha Panther. How you doing, Queen?
Hey, how you doing?
I'm doing good.
Oh, that
How's the
intro was
family?
dope. That intro was real cute.
I've been working on my shit, trying to get better.
And yeah, made me feel like, I'm lit.
You should be. You've
So
been
what's
doing your
up?
thing. Yo,
Well,
when did you fall in love with hip hop?
damn. I'm an 80s baby, so I feel like when the 90s hit, listening to like what my family been listening to, I kind of fell in love when I was probably like 4 or 5. That's crazy. That's like a long time.
It's crazy. Like you don't know shit past hip hop.
You know, no, because I feel like everything else that I like stems from hip hop. Like even when you listen to R&B artists are rapping now.
Yeah.
Like sometimes you gotta really rap to get that point across.
Yeah.
So hip hop is in everything. Like it's crazy.
I remember when Mary J. Blige came out, and I want to say
What's
for
the point?
me, she was like the bridge. She was like Heavy D probably was the one who really introduced hip hop and R&B and meshed them for me. Might have been
You
other
know what's
people, but
crazy? Somebody said that recently. I was talking to somebody, and it's crazy because they don't do as much as those R&B hip hop collabs as they used to. Remember Heavy D, Monifa? Like you couldn't have a dope R&B record
yeah,
without a rapper,
yeah.
or you couldn't have a dope rap without a female R&B artist singing on the hook.
And you had to have one on your album if you wanted to go
Yeah,
anywhere.
yeah, for
Yeah,
sure.
yeah. Hey, yo, speaking of that, is it, for this generation, is there like a a sound that you got to have on your project for people to pay attention?
I don't know because I feel like at first I liked the sample thing.
Mm-hmm.
Now I feel like it's being ran in the ground and sometimes it's not even done right.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like it depends really like what you're talking about. If you're talking about something relatable that people could relate to, that ain't about shopping, shoes and bags, whatever. If you really got some type of, mission or some type of pain or, just some type of relatable experience, then you good to go. But right now, I don't know. I don't want to hurt nobody's feelings, but I'm kind of in a time capsule with my music. Like I'm listening to 90s 2000 vibes. Like I really can't really get into the new stuff like that. Like I can some songs, but whole albums, nah.
Ain't nobody making the whole album no more though.
You right. They making 5-song
Yeah,
EPs and sending you on your way because honestly, I don't think the attention span
exactly.
it's
Like
not
I
like
don't think
yeah.
it's worth the effort. It really ain't. Like you
Yeah.
put out 20 songs for people to only listen to five anyway.
Only person could do some shit like that is Chris Brown.
But that ain't really hip hop. That's like that, he
Yeah.
throwing a. It's more R and
Yeah,
B
when it
ish.
comes to hip hop, if you ain't legendary like some Hove, Nas, like somebody where we know that it's some type of story in your music, you right. We ain't listening to all that.
Eh, It's because my generation will still listen to an album. So Hove and Nas get spins from us, but from your generation, ain't nobody. I don't think nobody checking for Hove and Nas all that much.
And that's crazy because those are the best albums. They got skits. Them shits is funny. Like it's so much going on in those albums. I'm like, y'all don't even know these albums is gold mines. Like these albums movies. But like you say, nobody's paying attention for too long.
What's your favorite song of yours?
Right now,
Period.
I'll be changing my songs. Sometimes I listen to my mixtapes or I listen to some of my songs. I'm like a music hoarder too. Like I got a lot of unreleased shit and I don't know.
Mm.
I just be like holding it for what I don't know. But right now, my favorite song of mine is Miami. And I was just there last weekend, but yeah, the favorite song of mine is Miami this month.
And you from Harlem, right?
Yep.
Who's the goat out of Harlem?
Born and raised. The GOAT? There's a few.
Who you got?
It's a few. I got some GOAT friends,
Mm-hmm.
but saying like growing up and watching people like Dipset and just watching how they hung together and everybody had their own style, but it was kind of like it was like the same similar style, but everybody had their own little
Yeah, it's
swag
like
within the style.
same mansion, different rooms.
Exactly. So, and it's crazy because as far as like females, I always was like a little outside the box with my music and the type of stuff that I like.
Mhm.
But Khalees, she was like super dope. And
She's Satan.
Foxy, she was dope. See, Little Kim, I got onto her late.
Mm-hmm.
My mama wasn't letting me listen to that. She wasn't having it. She like,
Foxy
hold up.
wasn't much better though.
Yeah, yeah, you ain't listening to that. I got onto the Kim wave later, but I did fuck with Foxy because she came out and she was tough and she was fly and she just had like a I don't care attitude and she hung out with a whole bunch of dudes. And for me, that was like, oh, even though I was from Harlem, I had a lot of friends in high school that was from Brooklyn. So for me, that was like, oh yeah, ill nana.
Yo, Foxy was nice with it though. But she,
Foxy
look,
was fire though.
Little Kim is a beast, and I think
No,
the
no,
whole
no.
big
Little
thing kind of
Kim,
overshadowed her.
Little Kim is the blueprint. Female rappers was looking like men before Little Kim made it okay for women to be sexy and show their sexuality and still talk that shit. Before Little Kim, we had Queen Latifah, The Brat, MC Light. Like women were not trying to be sexy on the mic. So she's definitely the blueprint of female rap image. Like she need her flowers for that, definitely.
Did the pendulum swing too far though after her?
Mm, yeah.
Like, do you ever write anything that you say that's too much?
Yeah. One time I wrote a song, it was so explicit that when I played it, first thing I said was, just so y'all know, I had help writing this.
Okay.
Just to, and they was like, oh yeah, you was wilding. And I was just like, but see, me, that wouldn't be my, that wouldn't be my, lane. I feel like you could hit them with one or two songs like that.
Hmm.
But when your lane is like that, it's a little bit much. And I think it's kind of hard nowadays to jump out of these lanes.
Yeah.
You get boxed in like
Yeah.
immediately.
Yeah. Because if that song is, it could be the nastiest song you ever wrote, but if it turns into a hit, that's all they expect from you is nasty shit.
Yeah, don't come out next week talking about, you saved and you need help and all this other. They gonna be like, girl, I want to hear that shit.
So,
But it's also good to be versatile because I tried to be versatile out the gate.
mhm.
That way it could give me a little bit more
Yeah,
room to move around.
yeah. So you still with Sewer Sounds, right?
Yeah,
ASAP Ferg.
that's the home team.
What the whole ASAP thing? I'm clueless. I'm just an old nigga in his basement. Explain this to me.
Well, look, ASAP is definitely Harlem. See how Dipset was that era?
Mm,
ASAP had their era. And what's crazy is I don't think nobody from ASAP, I don't know, it's like they were all cool kids from different blocks. And they got together and made something even cooler. And like Rocky, Ferg, 12V, like that's family right there. And I don't know. It's like we everybody's getting older, and when they came together, they were so much younger,
mm-hmm.
and now they grown men with kids and shit, and everybody's always like, "Well, what's up with them? What's up with them?" And I'm like, they still tight, they still cool, they just grown ass men with responsibilities and stuff now.
Yo, once life start lifing, shit change.
Once life start life, and you can only link on them holidays and them, sometimes you can't even do that. But you get the calls on the birthdays and stuff, and the check-ins. That's the most you could do.
What's next for you?
Well, I also have a publishing deal,
Still with Rock
and
Nation, right?
yeah, so I've been I'm the type of person I feed off of energy, like not so much everybody else's energy, but mine.
Okay.
So it's like where am I at with it? Like how am I feeling? And I feel like I gave so much on my first project that I kind of wanted to narrow in on a specific theme. It's like, yeah, I could do all this other stuff, but now I want to give a directed album on whatever theme.
Mhm.
Only thing is, I don't have a theme yet. So I just go to the studio and work and write, and I'm like, it'll come to me. Like, I don't want to force nothing. So I've been doing country music, I've been doing rock music, I've been doing R&B. I wrote like a blues record. Like I feel like just staying in the studio and working, something going to hit, because my first project, it just happened. Like I had so much records and I picked some and put them together and made Feline Season. So I feel like for me, that's how I work, and eventually it'll happen for me. So yeah.
Yo, so I'm
Yo,
cu-
just cut it off, please. I'm sorry
so
about that.
oh, you good? Everybody got life. So I'm curious, like the whole publishing deal. Like, do you search them out or do they come to you? Like, and how do you go about submitting shit? I'm just curious. I just never had a publishing deal before, so I'm nosy.
Well, they actually found me, but as far as it goes, I feel like I submit things, but I submit like a small body of work. Like
Hmm.
I feel like sometimes I'm sure they overflow with like people just sending records. And I got a good relationship with them at Rock to where, they'll let you know who working on stuff, what type of stuff people looking for.
Hmm.
And, I might have something already in the pocket, or I might just go to the studio one day and vibe off of that. So I think it's good to, even if you don't consistently submit,
Hmm.
consistently create, because you might get a call that somebody need a record. You might get a call for a sync opportunity for a movie or a TV show or something like that. And you got to be ready, because it's a bunch of writers, it's a bunch of artists. You got to have that shit on the flash drive ready to go.
So you at home listening to like theme songs from television shows too?
Listen, I'm a movie head. Like, I love music, but I think I might love movies because of music. Like literally, I could hear a song, and if it was in a movie, I might know the movie based on the song. Like, oh, that was in. And I'm a Shazam queen. If I hear a song, if I hear a beat, I'll be at the movie theater and the song will come on at the end, and I'm Shazamming that shit if I like it. So I'm like, and then also I went to school for theater and dance. So I'm like heavy on the dramatics, you could say. So I be listening to some movies. Sometimes I watch a movie or I watch a scene of a movie on mute and play one of my songs in the back and be like, my song could have been the scene, the song they was using for this.
Okay, let me ask you this one. Best theme song for a TV show.
Well, let me tell you, Eve, her TV show, Evie Eve,
I
that
remember
was my
that.
shit. Missy Elliott did the theme song for that. And of course, Moesha, that was like one of my, I was a Brandy fan growing up. So that was one of my, it's like certain, it's crazy because theme songs was really like, they could make an album of just like
They not
intros.
fucking with the Golden Girls, though. I'm sorry.
Yeah. The Golden Girl, they play the Golden Girls in the club.
Dude, dude.
Yes. In New York, they've played that. And me and my friends
Yo.
is in there screaming at the top of my lungs, thank you for being a friend. Travel around the world and back
Back
again.
again. See, that's
Yes.
it right there. An old nigga
No.
like me and a young person like my grandkids know that fucking theme song.
Yeah, that's definitely it. That's
Yeah,
it.
I don't get, yo. And it's a question that I ask everybody to come on the show. Has absolutely nothing to do with nothing. But you're sitting on a park bench, and God sits down next to you and says that you can ask him or her one question. What would it be?
Am I gonna be okay?
You don't think you're okay now?
You know, sometimes I don't. Like, it's crazy because I told somebody the other day, like, sometimes shit be happening that be so crazy that
Mm-hmm.
you question your faith. That you
Mm-hmm.
say, like, is the person I'm praying to real? And then you say, no, he's real. I know he is because, you know, the good shit, it got to come from him too. So it's times where I feel like I'm not going to be okay. And then it's times where I feel like I'm amazing. So I just want to know, like, how I'm not asking how long I'm going to be here,
Mm-hmm.
but when this is all said and done, am I going to be okay? Because I, as a person, I tend to take on a lot. And I know from, you know, people say, like, people that take on a lot eventually have that nervous breakdown.
Man, listen, it is not easy. It's not easy at all. I'm curious though, why don't we ever blame God? If we give him all the credit for the good shit, why don't we ever say it's your fault that the bad shit happened?
I'm telling you, it's I have those questions with myself, and it's times where I feel like, because I grew up in church, I
Mm-hmm.
grew up in a Baptist church, whatever, and it's sometimes where things just repeatedly be going crazy, and then you be like I'm praying, I'm doing this, I'm doing like, are you even there? Are you listening? Are you even real? Like, is all that shit I learned growing up even real?
Mm.
I have days like that. And then, you know, I'll snap back into it. Sometimes I say, well, you got to believe in something. And then sometimes I'll be like, you bugging, you was having a bad day. Like, you know what it is. So when life be life and you start questioning everything.
And I'm just one of those people. I think that it's okay, not necessarily to question God, but to ask questions of God.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, well, people be like, "You can't do this." Yeah, why not?
Well, if you can ask people that you can see, why can't you ask people? Why can't you ask of something that you can't see?
Man, that's the deepest song that you've written so far.
So, damn, the deepest song that I wrote a song called Rare, and I did that off the Beanie Siegel beat, Feel It in the Air.
Really?
And damn, that was probably like 2000 and I don't know, 16 or 17. And I would say that song is deep because I was talking about friendships and I was talking about relationships in the same song. And just basically, from my point of view, saying how you give love and you don't receive it.
And I'm assuming that you know Mr. J too, but that he says or the Soldier song.
Hmm.
Do you have a song called the Soldier song?
Fallen Soldier, yeah.
Yeah, Mr. J too was saying that one must be a deep one too.
Yeah. I had a few. It was a time because I used to mostly sing.
Hmm.
I was like a singer rapper. And I had a time where I felt like I was in not so much a dark place, but I was in a confusing space because I started doing music. I started getting recognized for my music, and I started drifting away from people that I was always around.
Mm.
And I'm from an era where if you start acting funny, it's like it's not us, it's you.
Yeah.
And I was like, am I the one acting funny? Because I'm following my dreams and my goals. So that's why I'm an advocate for that unsaid peer pressure, the peer pressure that you give yourself
Yeah.
because you feeling like, you're going to be judged or you doing the same stuff everybody else doing for success. And this is why people end up not doing shit. So for a while, I kind of put my music to the side and wasn't really doing it. And people asking what's up with the music. And I'm like, nah, I'm just chilling. Till I got to a point where I was just like, girl, you ain't trying to be working on 9 to 5 your whole life. You better use that talent God gave you, get you some money.
You know who's a classic example of that? Bobby Schmurder. He lived. He made moves that the streets celebrated. Did extra
Yeah.
time so his mans could get out. Uh, you know, fell on his sword, wasn't snitching, none of that shit. And now he's online selling watches and shit because the streets really don't give a fuck.
Nope.
They just complain.
They complain, they mad at you. If you don't take them with you, they mad at you. Mind you, you done paid their mama rent, everything, pay for their kid to go to school. It's just not enough.
Never. You know, they don't care how good you are. It's only that they don't. They never remember the yeses. They remember that first no, like you stole something.
Absolutely.
What is success to
That's why I'm
you?
kind of happy I got the type of family that I got too, because the type of family I have, it's like the shit we want is not tangible at all. Like we want to be in the house with each other and my grandmother and crack jokes and eat food, and that's what I was raised on.
Hmm.
And I don't see that with a lot of my close friends and all that. It's like y'all want too much.
They think they want shit.
Right. That part.
Yeah.
Yeah, so
And then you get to my age and you realize, you get the same box everybody else does.
yeah.
It's what do the people that are still here say about you?
Me?
No, just when it's all said and done, when you're gone and they bury your ass,
Right.
you can't take the shit with you, but you can leave
Yeah.
behind a reputation.
What they say in Harlem Nights when Richard Pryor told him, he said, when he said, what they gonna write on your tombstone? He wasn't no punk. Like, dumb shit like that.
Yeah,
Like, we
yeah.
get worried about the wrong things, like the wrong things. Like, and like you said, your legacy, what people gonna say, and if you got kids floating around, they definitely going that reputation gonna rub off on them kids.
Favorite childhood memory?
Favorite childhood memory. Well, my mom used to always do these movie nights
Hmm.
at my house, and I used to be able to invite all my friends and my cousins and stuff over, and she literally would cook, make popcorn, all types of shit. And those was like memories that I could really remember, like everything that was going on. I could really remember those memories, like word for word, what was going on, because nobody else in my neighborhood was doing stuff like that.
Really?
So my mom was really like getting all the kids in the neighborhood and letting them come sit on the living room floor, watch movies, cooking. And for me, I don't know, I felt like those was like the best days. Watching movies all day.
Yo, that's crazy. Yo, I've been to New York too, man, and yo, yeah, especially okay, is Harlem uptown or downtown? That's uptown, right?
Uptown.
Okay. All right, so I've been to Harlem a couple of times. First off, it's way too fucking expensive. Secondly, just saying. Yeah, I niggas be paying
Yeah.
$18,000 for a closet and a toilet.
Nah, yeah. Harlem is wilding right now, but
How do people still
uh,
live there?
people, let me tell you, if you got some family that's an OG and they had their apartment since you was a little kid, those is the ones you need to check in with, because they got the big apartments for the low rent. Now you trying to get in them new high rise joints. They the size of a bathroom and they gonna charge you an arm and a leg.
Yeah, man, it's still. I end up, and this was some years ago, but I'd never really looked into. This was before the cell phone shit, and I had this dream that I need to go to New York. So I guess on the fucking Greyhound, I got like $250 in my pocket, and I get there, and I'm in Manhattan actually, and come to find out, the hotels was like $200 a night, like the shitty ones.
Yeah, they
I,
be taxing.
yo, I end up staying at the YMCA, which, unbeknownst to me, was also a halfway fucking house.
Oh, on 135th.
Yo, that,
That's crazy because that's by me. You know what's the thing about Harlem was just crazy is that even if it's like at the bottom of Harlem or the top of Harlem, it's close because Harlem is small. So it's like from 110th Street to 155th Street and a couple avenues long. So it's like you could be on 110th Lenox and I could be all the way up here on 55th and 8th Avenue. And you'd be like, that ain't that far.
yo, so which borough is so is Harlem the smallest borough, or is it Long Island?
I would say Harlem because see, Harlem is in Manhattan, but it's not Manhattan. Harlem is a small piece of Manhattan. So when you think of like the boroughs, Bronx, Manhattan, Staten Island, Long Island, I mean Queens, Brooklyn. Brooklyn's big as hell, but Harlem is in Manhattan.
Yeah.
So it you can really say it's a small town.
Is there anybody from New York outside of you that represents New York to the fullest? Like you just like that person is so New York.
Tiana Taylor, she's like New York female, like how people say like, oh, now New York girls are tough. Like
Yeah.
They pretty, they cute, but they like mad tough.
Y'all scary.
And like, yeah, we a little scary sometimes, but even like the way she dressed, the way she talk, like she's definitely a Harlem girl. She represents us very nicely.
What do you hate most about hip hop?
The thing I hate most about hip hop is just like the need to compete. Like at one point, hip hop was our voice. It was the voice of people saying, we don't like this. We don't like how we're being treated. But also saying this is what's going on in our neighborhoods. This is where we from. But it seems like you always got to be in competition with somebody. You always got to silently say that you the best and fuck anybody. And if you come my way, I got heat for you. Like it just always has to be turned into I'm better than you. And it's crazy because if you look at how many goats it is in hip hop, how many legendary peoples in hip hop, how many hip hop artists have done different legendary things, is like fuckers we fighting for all the time. And then now it's turned to so much. If you look at early hip hop and you look at now, the message is crazy. Like this is why when we get a positive rap record, we praise that shit. Like the J. Cole and Lil Durk, oh my life. We was like, oh, they got the kids singing. Oh my God, this is a great song for graduation and everything. Oh my God. Because everything else is bah, bitch, fuck
Although,
you, and da da da.
to be fair, niggas be looking. Look, I grew up in hip hop. I was there from the first hip and the hop. And
The hip
niggas
it
be
to the
trying
hip
to
it.
act like my generation was some kumbaya niggas,
No, they
and
wasn't.
they were
But
not.
that's what I'm saying. Like it stemmed from that to now where you're not, if you ain't saying nothing of the sort, then you ain't, they looking at you like you ain't even a real rapper.
I think it's slowly kind of changing a little bit, and I
Yeah,
think
it
that the
needs
the
to.
whole Kendrick Drake battle, if you will, I think it
Ooh
helped.
wee.
I think it helped because Kendrick came out on top, and he's hip hop,
Yes.
as opposed, and Drake is more the machine, and so it's even though Kendrick rich as fuck, and so is Drake. It was more like a David versus Goliath type shit. So
Right. And
he,
one is commercial and the other one
yeah,
is cultural
yeah,
because hip hop is culture. That's our, well, all this shit is ours, but hip hop
facts,
is definitely cultural. And look, in all competition and all beef, there has to be a winner.
yeah.
Ain't no breaking even. Somebody got to win. And I feel like going into music or being a rapper or whatever, you got to always know that.
I mean, and Harlem has some of the best, the most legendary battle MCs too.
Oh yeah, we got some battle. We got some murder mooks. We got some loaded luxes. We got some like I ain't gonna hold you. Smack DVD definitely legendary because
Crazy,
when you think of battle rap, that's the first the platform to think of.
yeah, yeah.
And I've been in some of them rooms like real young, like before I was even doing my own music, and the energy in that shit is crazy. Even like
Very.
when you get into the dancing, like people can't forget like Harlem with them dances and them shakers, and I ain't that good with it. I could do a little two step, but I've been in those type of rooms too. And let me tell you, that energy is so crazy. Like I really love being from Harlem because I've been in all those little scenes where I'm just like, wow, this is crazy. Like I'm glad I'm from here.
Although Calico beat Lux. for all y'all. Y'all fucks with battle rap heavy. Been fucking with it for a long time.
Yo, yo.
It didn't fell off though. Oh, I'm sorry. I, is that the
No, you
baby?
good. What you said? Nah, I fucks with battle rap.
No,
OD.
your baby? Your
Huh?
kid? The kid? That was a little kid, right?
Yeah.
That's your child?
No.
You got kids?
Nope.
You want kids?
I don't know. I don't not want kids.
Yeah, but I
But
do.
I got I got two little brothers. So when I went off to college, I came back and my parents surprised me with a little brother. So and then another little brother. So those my kids.
Definitely a
And
wonderful
then I
thing
got a
to
big
experience.
family. I got a bunch of nieces and I got nieces, nephews. I got a bunch of little cousins. So I don't not want to have kids. I just feel like that's something I feel like when you feel it, you
Hmm.
feel it.
Yeah.
It ain't
And you
like,
got to
oh,
be the
well,
right
when
person
I
too.
get this age, I'm gonna have a kid.
What college did you go to?
Well, I graduated from college in New Rochelle.
Okay.
Yeah, but I did go to school in Virginia. I went to VCU for a little bit. Then my mama had that baby, and I came home. And yeah, I graduated from the college in New Rochelle with a bachelor's in psychology and minor in communications.
Oh, that's fucking dope. Congratulations.
Thank you. Look, you need to know a little bit about a lot. I feel like being from the hood, being educated, traveling, it's helped me.
Hmm.
It's helped me be able to maneuver and, be comfortable in these rooms.
Best advice you've got.
The best advice I've gotten was, let me see the best, because I've been getting some good advice. Mm, my mother told me when I was probably in high school, she said, in this house, you are everything. Out there, you ain't nobody. So don't you go out there acting like you better than anybody, and you better treat people how you would want them to treat me.
Mm.
And she told me that when I was in high school, buck wild. I was like, whatever, ma. But you listen later
Yeah.
because and I know a lot of people who come out and expect the world to treat them a certain way, and that's why my safe haven is home, because I know at home
Yeah.
they gonna treat me like I'm somebody.
Yeah.
You know, I still make my mark when I'm outside, but I do it to where I ain't gotta hurt nobody feelings.
But home should never be a battlefield.
No, and that's
And
why a lot of these guys don't be
yeah,
wanting to go home.
man, listen. You know, it's crazy. Somebody that I was with formerly, but I remember telling her like, you're the only person on the planet that I argue with,
Wow.
and that
Ooh,
I
we
don't know if
know.
that I don't know if that sits with her, but that was as I was saying it, I realized how powerful that was, and why we wasn't gonna work out.
Yeah. And sometimes I tell people it's not you, it's us. Cause you might be good with somebody else or good by your goddamn self. You just ain't good with me.
Exactly.
This mix, this ain't the vodka and cranberry. This is Hennessy and tequila. It's
Oh,
not
that's
gonna
nasty
work.
work. Yo.
That's gonna have us toe up in here.
Oh my! Is now, speaking of that, is there a drink that a liquor that you no longer drink because it just didn't work for you?
Oh. You remember the Long Island iced tea in the bottle,
They had it in the bottle.
like already made.
Oh, that's nasty.
So I used to drink this when I was teen, early 20s, wildin'. So I tried to drink that again. Mind you, I haven't drank that in years. Don't ask me why. I took a sip of that again, and I think I was sick for like 3 days. Like my body just couldn't get right. Like I was up, but I just didn't feel like myself. Like I needed a fucking electrolytes, some IV or something. Like I just was like down bad. And I'm like, nah, because I could drink some Henny. I think Henny is, if you drink it responsibly, you good. And I love some tequila. But the mixed drinks, them shit that come already, like, can't fuck with that.
I've been on my mixed drink shit lately. Fucks with lemon drops.
Oh no,
Uh,
see lemon drop, and I don't really do the vodka, but a lemon drop
yo,
is that's a good drink right there.
it's a great drink right there. You know, especially if they know what they're doing when they make that boy. It's a great drink.
Yeah,
Can't.
whoever is responsible for that, they deserve their picture in the Hall of Fame. 'Cause that's a good drink right there. That might be the only drink I'll do with vodka.
Yo, but Hennessy, I can't do Hennessy no more, man.
Really? Let me tell you, I mix Hennessy with red wine.
Nigga, what? That's
All right, but listen to the portions.
okay.
It's a glass of red wine
Okay,
with a splash of Henny.
but there's no
So,
such thing as a splash of Henny.
yeah, it's an arm gesture. Ugh. It depends on how big your arm is, because if your arm is big, you're heavy-handed and you're drunk.
Yeah, yeah.
But yeah, little splash in there. It's like sophisticated and ratchet, but
At the
more
same time.
sophisticated.
Yeah, until the Henny kick in. Okay,
Yeah,
so
then it's time to go home.
what do you prefer, the studio or performing?
Studio.
Why?
It's crazy because I used to dance ballet and tap and modern, and that is performance, but it's not vocal. So for me, I feel like in the studio, I'm a bigger, like I'm more comfortable than on stage.
Mm.
And that's crazy because you would think somebody that was always on stage since a kid would be, ready to. Don't get me wrong, once I'm on stage, I feel like, oh, all right, we here. But if I had to make a choice, I would just be in the studio.
I think the studio it fosters vulnerability better.
Yes. And it's almost like being in a room by yourself. I'm not afraid to, express myself.
So are you like a big the whole team in the studio person, or are you one of those people like Missy that I don't want nobody here but me and the engineer?
Um, I'm a little of both. I feel like most of my songs on my first project I made in the studio. Look, half of them be sleep, so you ain't even in there with them. If the studio got a couch, they sleep. It's you and the engineer anyway. But for me, it doesn't really matter. I just know when I'm in the booth, I like it to be a little dark.
Hmm.
But I don't care who outside the room.
You got a
Oh,
favorite
no.
engineer?
I have a few. So, and they're all my friends, which is great.
Hmm.
So I have my friend Tweak. It's actually like my little bro. He produced most of my first project. My friend Drew and my friend Matt. And they all actually help co-produce my music. I'm working with them now, and those is my brothers, and they play instruments and produce. And it's very different when you are being engineered by a producer
Mm-hmm.
than when it's just an engineer.
Mm-hmm.
Because the ones that go to school, some of them are very robotic,
Got you.
and the ones that actually produce
They got a
or
feel.
that sing or that play instruments, sometimes they can't even sing, but they can direct you with chords or sounds
Mm-hmm.
to help you like with melodies and stuff. So that matters
The ear is everything.
for sure, especially when you want your music to touch other people. Like, I don't know how my music is going, how other people are gonna, you know, reciprocate to it, but I just be like, I like it, so I hope they like it. And people be always be hitting me up, hearing different shit than I hear.
Mm. So, and my two favorites are Brick by Brick and Yayo.
Brick
Uh,
by brick.
but Yayo
You know,
is
that's crazy because Brick by
insane.
Brick was actually me and my friend Hunt Dog. We was in the studio in Atlanta, and that beat was actually being made by this producer named True
Hmm.
and my friend Tweak. And as they were making it, Hunt just kept saying brick by brick. Like he just kept saying it. And while they were making the beat, I just was writing to it. And then we made the song in like 2 hours.
Do you know which songs are going to resonate better as soon as you make them, or does it surprise you?
I'm one of those people, I love every song. Like once I make the song, I'll be like, yo, I love this song. And I'm gonna listen to it every single day or until I make another song. So I usually sit with like ASAP Ferg, Tweak, Drew, Matt, like the whole Sewer Sounds team, and like whatever close friends I got that, you know, listen to my music. And we all like sit in the studio and I'll be like, yo, how y'all feel about this? Like, what y'all think? And they be like, yo, this the one, this the one. Because me, I love them all.
Hmm.
I think because maybe I have emotional attachment to each record. Like each song is, all my songs have some truth in it, some truth about me,
Hmm.
even if it's one line. It's something in there that's personal to me, and I always make my songs like that. I don't know, maybe years down the line, it'll be a secret message hidden up in them.
It, in 20 years, what do you want to look back on your career and say?
I want my music to help me. I don't want to say like I want it to be political. I want my music 20 years from now. I want it to be like this person made it okay to be this type of female artist, or this person was like, oh, I'm coming to speak to young girls or kids in school, whatever, and I want my music to be, I don't know what exactly, but I want to be able to say that my music opened doors for me to do something good for like my people.
Hmm.
And I don't really want to say politics because politics right now is so nasty,
I don't
but
think
I
it's going to
feel like
change. I think this is it for us. This is our new normal.
yeah, I was saying the same thing. That's why I don't want to use that word,
Hmm.
but I do want to use my music to touch people and get people to see what changes we got to make, what we got to do, like on some Black Panther shit. Because I feel like when people love you as an artist, they'll follow you. I've seen like it's so many artists that really got a lot of power, especially in their community.
And don't use it.
They don't use it right.
Yeah.
Like one person I really rock with when it comes to like the prison reform and shit like that, I would say Meek because he really trying for people like him. And you know, he ain't perfect, but he gonna stand up and he gonna speak on stuff that's going on for people like him.
Yeah.
And that's the way you got to do it on the ground level. You know, you may not could change the world, but you know what's going on hands on in your community. You know what you seen. You know what you are a product of, and his music really got it to where people gonna follow him,
Yeah.
especially if they going through the
Although
same thing.
they gotta take that nigga phone from him. This nigga social media is horrible.
Oh yeah, social media. Let me tell you, social media.
Meek does it to himself. Like he's just nigga, stop, please. Love
He do,
love what you're
but
doing.
I know a lot of niggas that do it to themselves. He not really. It's like niggas use their celebrity status, but they don't use it at the right time.
Yeah.
It's like we know you human and all that, but we don't need you to act human and have a crash out on social media, bro. Like we
Especially
need you
every
to
other
act
week.
like yeah, we need you to act like this is a press, this is a recorded line, or this is a rehearsed thing
Please.
where you don't crash the fuck out and
Facts.
just start writing anything.
Oh my god. That dude's horrible. Love you though, bro. Like keep doing your thing, except that part. Okay. If people want to
Yeah.
get in contact with you, they want to get some music from you, they want you to write a song for them, how they go about doing that?
So the good thing is I'm gonna start releasing songs on my SoundCloud again very often, just to, you know, get the momentum going. But if you want to reach me, you got me on Instagram, Antha Panther with two A's. My email address is on there. You could DM me. I do not respond to all the DMs. I might read them, but I might not respond because people be weird. But
People are weird.
yeah, very weird. Um, my manager, Air Jordan, you know, y'all can hit him up. It's HEIR Jordan. And yeah, you can hit me directly. Like I'm not hard to be found.
Yo, last question. Where you get a name from?
So see, this story I've been kind of saving. Well, I've been hiding the person who given me the name, and
Mm,
one day I'll reveal the name. So this is like an elite celebrity. Okay.
okay, okay.
So one day I was in the studio and he was in the session as well. And I introduced myself. I was like, hey, what's up? My name is Antha. And he was like, oh, nice. Nice to meet you. And he kept calling me Anthem, like the national anthem.
Right.
So, you know, I let it slide because I'm like, all right, you the GOAT. So I'm gonna let it slide. He did it like 2 or 3 times. And you know me, I'm from Harlem. I ain't gonna
You
let
ain't gonna
too
let it
much
slide.
slide. So I was like, what what you calling me? My name is Antha. And he was like, oh, I'm so sorry. Antha? I was like, yes. He was like Panther? I was like, yes. He was like, all right, Antha Panther. My bad, Antha Panther. And I'm like, yeah. Then, you know, the night went on and I was about to leave. And he was like, all right, I'll see you later, Antha Panther. So it was kind of a joke. I love cats, like OD love cats anyway. So it was kind of a joke. And my friend who
Hmm.
was at the studio with me, she was like, oh, hey, Antha Panther. Like, you know, joking. And we was in the studio and Ferg was like, that sounds kind of fire because you like cats. And I was like, I really do. And that was it. That was Antha Panther. And then the music just fell in line. Like the cat shit, the Eartha Kitt references. Like it was just like it was supposed to happen that way.
Well, This has been a dope ass conversation. I just want to say.
I know this was cool.
Yeah, I definitely appreciate you. If there's anything I can ever do for you, I'm not sure what, but if there is, let me know and I got you. Yo,
I'm
and
pulling up to Detroit at the end of the month.
let me know when, where you gonna be at, and let me know.
Um, ASAP Ferg doing the show out there on the 25th.
Well, you know, I might have to,
So I'm gonna have to pull up on you.
yeah, do something, please. That past peak old man hours, but I'll try to make it happen.
Ah,
On that note, oh, and before we go, if nobody else has told you, I'm proud of you.
thank you. I appreciate that.
No doubt, man. You have a phenomenal day on purpose, and thank you for stopping by.
No doubt.
I'll let you. Peace.
Bye.
That's Antha Panther, ladies and gentlemen. Yo, shout out. I think you might be. What is that? Sandile Miss Andrade Saba. I know I just fucked your name all the way up, but shout out to you. They from South Africa. I'm completely
Hey.
certain I fucked your shit up. Yo, my guy Ben Frank, what's going on? Yo, Mr. J2. Yes, yeah, yo, it's fire. Uh, are you missing this 50 Cent? No, I'm just playing.
Al.
Anyway, y'all have a good one. And what we got next week? Let me make that. Let me look at the schedule. And while I'm doing that, shout out to my manager. I got the best manager in the history of managerial skills. Next week at 5 o'clock, we got Benny Taylor. That should be a good one. The 22nd, we got Detroit Diamond and Isis DeMille at 5 and 7, respectively. This is Job. This has been another episode of Intellectually Petty Radio. Y'all have a phenomenal evening on purpose. And I'm out. Peace.